Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7. Chapter is called Knowledge of the Absolute. This is a very sacred, very confidential chapter too. All of them are like that, but this is one of the special chapters. Well, I would say that this chapter talks a lot about knowledge, knowledge of the absolute, of course. So we can see the red line going through the whole chapter, how Krishna again and again comes back, uh, to the point, to the subject of knowing him. So let's start. Text 1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Sakta Mana Parcha Yoga Myunjan Madashraya Asam Shayam Samagramam Yatha Gyasasi Tatsrinu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So, the point of yoga is to know Krishna. And now Krishna tells us about different manifestations, his different manifestations, and how we can directly or indirectly concentrate our mind fully on Krishna. And by doing that, we can understand him in full, free from doubt. So this is very nice. Text 2. Gyanam teham savigyanam idam vaksham yasheshata. Yadgyatva neha puyo nyaj gyatavyam avashishyate. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, but phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Phenomenal means connected to this world of phenomenon, which is matter, basically. It's material world, basically. It's knowledge about this world, which is visible to our material senses and perceivable by our material senses. And numinous means something which is beyond this world, transcendental, spiritual world. So this knowledge will be about matter and about spirit as well. So if we know these things, then nothing else remains to be known. So we know everything. No university education can give this kind of knowledge. Yes, and who can understand this knowledge? And who wants to understand? See, the famous verse. This chapter is full of verses which are quoted in many places, in many times by Srila Prabhupada and basically all the great acharyas, and we quote these verses many times, just like this one. Text number 3. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati sitaye yatatam api sitanam kaschid mam iti tattvara. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So a lot of people, there are so many living entities and many people as well. So only one among many thousands will try to achieve perfection. And those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows Krishna. This is very rare. In other words, devotee is a very rare person. So takes very few people to understand Krishna. Well, Srila Prabhupada would say that, when he came to the West, that, do you expect that like everyone, many people would accept Krishna consciousness? He said, no, not really. If you have something very expensive, very special, So you don't expect many people can buy it. So he was thinking that only the most intelligent people would accept Krishna. So he knew that. Of course, he was distributing knowledge to everyone who wanted to get it. And but and at the same time, he knew that only very few would be serious about it. So Krishna told us here in the beginning that he would talk about phenomenal knowledge. I mean, knowledge about the matter. See the text number 4. Humir apo nalo vayu kam manubhutir eva cha ahankara iti ame pina prakriti ashtata. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separate material energies. So, 8 elements of matter. Wow, wait a minute. Somebody can tell us in a periodic chart there are like 200 elements or something. I don't even remember how many there are now. They always discover new ones. When I went to school for like 50 years ago or something, I was a top student in chemistry, but well, so. I think the number of elements have increased. So at that time there was like, I don't remember now, but I think anyway. But you see, among those elements, there are something called air, gas. So like there are so many helium and fluor, and well, not fluor, but I mean all these elements. There is a special um, a column which are airs. There is a special column which are metals and so on, semi-metals and this and that. So in other words, all the elements which are air, which are gas, are in air category. Liquid ones are in the water category and so on. So it's doesn't mean that Earth is just like Earth. It means that everything which is solid. Yes. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, and earth, water, fire, air, ether. These 5, they are called gross elements. Very gross. You can perceive it by our sense. We can perceive it by our senses. Of course, air is very difficult to perceive only by touch, isn't it? Earth can you taste, you can touch, you can smell, you can see, and you can even hear. You can just throw something, take a stone and throw against the wall, you can hear it. So this is I mean, Earth has all these 5 sense perceptions. But mind, ether, for example, ether is very difficult to see. It's not easy to perceive. It's just space, basically space. Um, well, I read about one Soviet or Russian cosmonaut, it's called, a lady who went out in the outer space, and then she said that, you think the outer space is an emptiness. It's not. It's just full of something. We don't know what's going on, and you are being watched when you're there. So you feel like somebody's watching you all the time. So there's so many beings out there. So anyway, I don't want to go very much into this direction. Anyway, these 5 elements are gross elements, and then mind, intelligence, and false ego. They're very subtle. They're matter, but very subtle matter. So mind, hmm, we don't really know what's going on. What is mind? Intelligence, even more difficult to understand. and false ego. So science is not at the moment able to understand these things. They can analyze psychology and things like that, but this analysis is like analyzed by symptoms, by indirect effects on us, but you cannot see the mind. Um, so these energies are separated from Krishna. Separated means just like they don't display the qualities of Krishna. Just like if you have a shadow, we all have shadows, and shadows look like us, but they are not us. They don't have consciousness and things like that. So it's like shadow of Krishna. They are separated from Krishna, and they don't display the qualities of Krishna, like eternity, bliss, and knowledge, to say at least. So, in the purport, Krishna, well, Prabhupada quotes Satvata Tantra, where, which says, Vishnustu Trini Rupani Purushakyani Ato Vidu, which is like Vishnu has lots of energies, but three of them are the main ones, like external, internal, and marginal. So now we spoke about the external energy, material energy. Now Krishna talks about aparayamitastvanyam prakritim vitime param jivaputam mahabaho yayadam taryate jagat. Besides this, Almighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior energy. Well, living entities, us, are Krishna's energy, of course, but we are superior energy. Beside this material energy, there is a superior energy, para and apara. Um, so we want to use these material elements to exploit the resources of nature. We know what's going on. I mean, the whole world is just, after exploiting and how many resources you have. They even start wars with all kinds of nasty means just to control petrol, oil, this kind of energy, that kind of energy. They just want to have everything for themselves. These are material consciousness, people with material consciousness. So, and see, then he says, Etadyonini putani sarvaniti upatharaya aham kritsnatsya jagata prabhava pralayastata. Now, he says, all created beings have their sources in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Now, he talks about the material and spiritual energies. Then he says, but I'm the origin of all those things. And I'm the source of them. I'm the dissolution of them as well. So now Krishna establishes himself in a top position above all these energies. Vada paradaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mae sarvamidam protam sutre mani ganaiva. Very famous verse as well. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So only Krishna can say that. He says that there is no superior truth in me, and everything rests upon me just like pearls on a string. So he's the support of everything. He is God. We all his servants. Now he goes to describe to us different manifestations of his energy in this world, where you can perceive him directly. Rasohamapsu kaunteya prapasmi shashisurayo pranava sarva vedeshu shabda akhe paurushamdrishu O son of Kunti, I'm the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I'm the sound in ether and ability in man. Prabhupada would very often say that what is the difficulty to become Krishna conscious? Everyone can be Krishna. Everyone wants to drink water. But think about Krishna when you drink water. The taste of water is this pure, wonderful taste, which nothing can compare to. So is Krishna. So Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. Wonderful. Sometimes when I go out at night, there is wonderful silver light in my garden, which is moonlight. Krishna says, I'm moonlight as well. This is so wonderful. So we can think about Krishna. When we see Krishna, sun or moon, we can think about them being the eyes of Krishna. And so on. Now he goes on like that. Now, in this way, you can appreciate Krishna by his energies. If you cannot see him directly, then he's here in everything. Taste of water, syllable om, light of the sun and the moon, and so on. Punyo gantha prithivim cha tejas chasmi bhavaso jivanam sarva bhuteshu tabas chasmi tabas vishu. I'm the original fragrance of the earth, and I'm the heat in fire. I'm the life of all that lives, and I'm the penances of all ascetics. Yes, well, you have to read this purpose. We don't have a possibility to go through all this. It's just wonderful. Think about how you can see Krishna, understand Krishna in this world. If we don't have spiritual senses, but how can we perceive Krishna in everything in this world? Pijamam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all the powerful men. Balam balavantam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruta bhuteshu kamosmi paradarshava. I'm the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I'm sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles, a lord of the Paratas, Arjuna. So Krishna is in everything, even in sex life. I mean, that's why marriage is sacred. Sacred marriage is wonderful. And, Krishna, begetting Krishna conscious children and, all these things. So even that is Krishna. This is so wonderful. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasas ye mata evetitan vithi tatvaham tishute mai. Know that all the states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I'm not under the material modes of nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. Now he goes like higher, about higher energies, like the three modes of nature, or states of being, as he says. Sattva, rajas, tamas, yes. So all these things, they are manifested by my energy, he says. In one says everything. I'm everything, he says, but I'm independent. You see, Krishna is everything, but not everything is Krishna. So Krishna is always aloof from everything. Everything is Krishna's energy. In that sense, everything is Krishna. But still, Krishna is separate from everything anyway. So, Tripir Gunamayir Pavar Epi Sarvamidam Jagat. Mohidam Napijanati Mam Epya Param Avyayam. See, now we're talking about knowing Krishna. Now, who and why people don't know him? So deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. The whole world doesn't know me, who I am above the modes and inexhaustible. So, because we are deluded by even sattva guna. Sattva guna is material guna too. So sattva guna will also separate us from Krishna. What to speak about raja guna, tama guna. They are separating us from Krishna. That's why we don't know Krishna. Daivihesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam echantarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So, no way one can understand Krishna if you don't surrender to Krishna, because Duratyaya, it's very difficult. Material energy is very difficult to overcome. But if you surrender unto Krishna, then you can understand Krishna. Krishna will remove this covering. Now, what kind of people are those who are deluded? Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama ayaya pahrita jnana asuram bhavamashrita. So there are four kinds of people, and Krishna lists them like this. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So, grossly foolish, I mean, ignorant people, most of the people are like that, and many people at least. So, they just want to satisfy their animal propensities. They don't care about anything else in life. And they can just, work like asses, like mudas, like, and so they don't care about anything else. So they just want to eat something, you know, enjoy some intercourse and so on, things like that. Yeah. So very low class of people. Not because they are born like that, but they have just bad qualities. Dushkriti is a miscreant, actually. It's like kind of criminal, almost like bad people. The next category is Naradhama. Naradhama is actually lowest of the mankind. That's what it means. Naradhama is a very immoral people, basically. So yeah, all kind. They may be very socially very well placed and things like that, but they are just very much. They may. Prabhupada quotes Jagai Mata. He brings the example of those Naradhamas, lowest amongst mankind, really bad characters. Um, the next one is Maya Parita Jnana. It means that whose knowledge is stolen by Maya. So kind of philosophers, things like that, Mayavadis, who who think that Krishna, who think who have different ideas about Krishna, think that they are Krishna, they are God themselves. Krishna told us here that everything originates from me. There is no truth beyond me. Who can match? He says all the material energies are my energies, and then the spiritual energy, and all of those energies have origin in me. Who can say that? How can you be God? You cannot be God. We cannot be God. We are just two little ones. So, and the last one is Asura and Palamashita, those who are directly demoniac, um, very much against, I mean, against God. They aren't just fools, they are even against. I mean, so these four kind of people, they cover all those who are deluded. So now Krishna talks about um, Sukritis. Dushkriti were bad people, Sukriti is good people. O best among the Bharatas, four kind of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So Prabhupada says that, those who are pious, but they are not really devotees. When they are very much distressed, they have some problem, just like Ganesh. Ganesh, no, not sorry, Gajendra, sorry, Gajendra, the elephant, who was a great devotee in his previous life, but he made some mistake and he was cursed to be born as an elephant. And he was uh, grabbed in the water by his leg by a crocodile. You know, if you are in the proper element, you are very strong. That's why very important to be in the proper element. Um, the elephant is very strong on the earth, but in the water, no. In the water, this is the element of the crocodile. So crocodile grabbed him, and he was so distressed, and he actually he knew he would die now soon, and he actually picked up with his trunk a lotus flower and offered it to Vishnu and offered wonderful prayers. And Vishnu came and sent his Sudarshan chakra to cut the head of the crocodile. And crocodile happened to be a great devotee as well. He was also cursed. So both Gajendra and crocodile, they got salvation and they became devoted. Well, they got the spiritual bodies. So Gajendra was in distress. Then, if you desire some wealth, not everyone desires, many people desire, but not everyone will surrender to Krishna or approach Krishna. See, the example is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy and he was he wanted very much to be a great emperor, even bigger emperor than his father, because he was angry at his father due to his stepmother. So he went to worship by the direction of his mother. He went to worship Vishnu in the forest, and he was great ascetic. I mean, greatest, unbelievable. So he was such an advanced yogi that the Lord Vishnu came to him. And when he saw Vishnu, he said, "Well, I was so stupid. I was begging for um, some broken glasses, a piece of glass, some totally useless things. And now I got you, the greatest wealth. So I don't want any empire, any kingdom, because I don't care. I want you. I want devotion to you." But Lord Vishnu told him, "Don't worry about it. I want to give you the," and he became the emperor of the whole universe. Yes, because he was a desire of wealth. This is the example. Then inquisitive. I think. Well, I forgot. Who are the inquisitive ones? I think Kumaras. Kumaras. The Kumaras are the ones who want to
Yes.
acquire knowledge. I forgot who was the inquisitive. Oh my God.
Yeah, Kumaras.
Anybody remember?
Uh, uh, ah, no, Kumaras not. Actually, no, not Shukadeva Goswami.
Yes.
Parikshit Maharaj? No.
I don't think so. Anyway, doesn't matter. Somebody wants to know God, and I just sometimes some very simple things, kind of you cannot remember. Anyway, these are four kind of people, very pious people, approach Krishna. See, next one. Of those, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. Um, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Again, the knowledge comes forth. One who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, he says. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and the most perfect goal. So everyone, all of these four kind of sukritis are very magnanimous. But one who wants knowledge is most dear to Krishna. See here, and when can it happen? Now it's time. Question of time. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavanam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlapa. And again, the knowledge is stressed in this. See here, after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me after many births and deaths, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So you need many births and deaths. And finally, you understand Vasudeva, Krishna is a cause of all causes. You have to know him in full. Again, knowledge. See here, this is such a wonderful thing. Those whose intelligence, but now the opposite kind of people. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So, these four kind of devotees are not really pure devotees yet. They have some kind of motive: distress, wealth, inquisitive, and knowledge. But those who have too many material desires, they will start worshipping, instead of going to Krishna, they will go to demigods. This is what Krishna says here. This is a problem. They worship some kind of demigod because they want maybe wealth, fame, whatever, knowledge. If you want to have some knowledge, I guess you have to worship Mother Saraswati. And if you want some wealth, Lord Shiva can give a lot of wealth. It's very easy to get wealth from Lord Shiva. He is very easily satisfied. But is it good idea to ask the demigods, benedictions from demigods? Now we'll see what Krishna's opinion about it is. I'm in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So Krishna, you see, Krishna gives freedom to everyone. If you want to worship the demigod, he's so great. I mean, just unbelievable. He's not upset about anything. He's just above all these things. Grudges and all this negativity doesn't exist in Krishna at all. He's so magnanimous. He says, I'm in everyone's heart as a super soul. He knows the heart of everyone. And if he thinks that somebody wants to worship the demigod, fine with him. So he will guide him in that. He will, he will give him faith in that particular demigod. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. He really wanted something, I don't know, be very famous or something. So Krishna asked, kind of helped him to worship, have faith in particular demigod who gave him this fulfillment of his desire. But see what Krishna says. Endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, those benefits are bestowed by me alone. So you think that Lord Shiva gave you fulfilled your desire. No, it's Krishna. Through the demigod. See? It's actually Krishna who bestows all these things. Nobody else. Nobody can do anything if it's not sanctioned by Krishna. So why should you worship anyone else than Krishna then? Even if you have desires. So if you remember this shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, Agama sarva kama va moksha karma udarati tivrena bhakti yogena vrajita purushapara. It means that, karma, if you have no desire, or if you have all kinds of desires, sakama, or you just want to be liberated, moksha kama, you should always worship Krishna. Because anyway, he's the one who gives you all these desires, fulfills all these desires anyway. So don't go to demigods, go to Krishna anyway. This is not approved by pure devotees. I mean, this is not the method of pure devotees to ask Krishna for something. But if you have all these desires, better go to Krishna, because then Krishna will fulfill those desires in such a way you become a devotee anyway. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. See, if you worship the demigods, you can get the results, but these results are limited and temporary. That's why such people are called men of small intelligence. Alpa methasa. This means, not so much brain, less intelligent. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So, intelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that see here, now he talked about demigods. Now he talks about Mayavadis or impersonalists. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly, again, know me, knowledge. Think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. They think that Krishna was impersonal and became personal, and he becomes impersonal again. This is nonsense. I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Yes, because we don't know Krishna, we do something else than worshiping him. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishani chabudani mamtu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as a Supreme Personal Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past and all that is happening in the present and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Jai Shri Krishna. So he knows everything, what happened in the past, what's going on now, and what will happen in the future. Doesn't mean he has determined the future, just knows what you will desire, because he can do that. He can know everything. There is no limit for Krishna. Nobody can obstruct anything from Krishna. He knows all the living entities, but him nobody knows. Jai Shri Krishna. See here, this verse, this is very nice. Ichadvesha samudhena dvandva mohina parata sarva putani samohan sarve yanti parantapa. O sign of parata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arising from desire and hate. Desire and hate. You want something and you don't want something. It's like two poles, two plus and minus. You want something very much, but you just don't want to have something. So you want pleasant things, you don't want unpleasant things. So because of this, we are born again and again in delusion. Yes. Ichadvesha, which is desire and hatred. But yesham tvanta gadam papam gyanchananam punya karmanam tidvandva mohanir mukta bhajante mam dhritavadaha. Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse a lot of times from persons who have acted piously in previous lives. And in this life, previous lives and in this life, acted piously. Those people. And whose sinful actions are completely eradicated are freed from the dualities of delusion. And if you want to get rid of this delusion, which Icha Dvesha Samutena Dvandva Mohena Parata, which we read about in the previous verse, then you have to act piously in previous lives and now, which means you have to, you know, basically follow the regulative principles, be a kind person, be nice, don't do stupid things, don't harm anyone, be kind to people, be kind to all the living entities, you know, and thus get rid of the sinful reactions and engage in determination, do determination in my devotional service. Such people can do that. Sinful people cannot engage themselves in devotional service. You have to start getting freed from sinful reactions, which is the process of initiation. Before the initiation, you have to follow the principles, regulative principles, which makes you purified from all this nonsense, habits, very bad habits. You can get free, and then you accept the spiritual master, and usually it takes 1 year or something of sincere service, just like trial period, and then you can get the initiation. By initiation, spiritual master helps you to get rid of all kinds of sinful reactions, and you are a new person. And initiated people, devotees in general, and even also especially initiated people, they have special luster. They are, they have this kind of very special effulgence, aura or something, because they are purified. Yes. And then Jara Marana Mokshaya Mamashritya Yatantiye Te Brahma Tad Vidu Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Jara Marana. Jara is old age, Marana is death. Jara Marana Mokshaya, those who want to get rid of old age and death. Not everyone wants that. They don't even understand. They think they won't die, they won't get old. They just want to enjoy, grab everything now, as much as possible. But they don't want to understand that, because they don't have any idea what's going on after death. They have no knowledge about the spirit. So that's why they don't want to get rid. But those who want to get rid of birth, death, old age, disease, they actually take refuge in devotional service. Only devotional service can get us out from this cycle. And again, they know everything about transcendental activities. They know how to act in such a way that we don't get entangled. Sathi Putati Daivamam Sati Yagyam Chayevidu Prayana Kave Pichamam Te Vidur Yukta Chedasa. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, all the demigods and all methods of sacrifice can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So it's not only you can know Krishna during your life, but even at the time of death. And if you know Krishna at the time of death, then we can go back to Krishna. Because what you think at the time of death will determine your next life. So instead of being born here in the network of desire and hatred, we could think of Krishna and go back home, go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, this was chapter number 7, the knowledge of the Absolute. Thank you for listening. Any questions, any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Mahabhas.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Can devotion come before knowledge, or is knowledge prerequisite for the devotion to Krishna?
I think it's the same thing. It's like a stick, two different ends of the stick, the same stick. Because this knowledge here is a knowledge which we can get from the pure devotee by listening to the devotee. This knowledge is not just academic knowledge. This is knowledge, we can hear about, we have to hear about Krishna. So in this way, we have to understand Krishna, knowledge. But this is like listening to a pure devotee who talks about Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and things like that. So by listening to a pure devotee, our hearts become purified, and then we can become even more fixed in devotional. Well, you see, devotion is a gradual process. We have to understand that we have to develop gradually, just like Rupa Goswami describes. First is just you have to be some kind of pious person to get in touch with devotee. Then you accept the guru. Then you can follow the principle. Then you can get some faith. Then you can get some taste, and finally you can get Krishna prema. So so you have to start with associating with pure devotee who will introduce you to Krishna, and then we become engaged in devotional service, and the more we become, the more spontaneous our devotion will be. And then we have to be very careful about guarding ourselves from anarthas, from unwanted things, and so in this way we develop. But I think knowledge of Krishna, this is not speculative knowledge. This is knowledge gotten from pure source by disciplic succession, by parampara. So only this kind of knowledge can bring us to Krishna. But one may not be very well, academically educated. It doesn't mean anything. Just listen to the spiritual master and try to understand. Does that make sense? You're welcome. Yes, I'm happy that we are back to our classes, and I think next classes will be given by Kalindi Mataji. Then I will give some more and Kalindi again, and so on. So
Harinam Charan Prabhu raised the hand.
okay,
So
yeah.
please.
Hare Krishna. Good evening, dear devotees in Nandaprya Prabhu. Thank you very much for a nice lecture. Prabhu, I have one question. Many years I'm thinking about that. What about, for example, Brahma as a body it considers intelligent. So if it either is that too subtle, what to speak about intelligent? For example, if a Brahma appears in front of us, so does it mean we cannot see him? Is it just this question, because intelligent supposed to be something different energy, which is really very subtle. Can you describe a little bit, whatever you have a knowledge about that?
I think the higher beings like demigods and so on, they can be before you. We cannot see them, but if make themselves visible to us, then yes, I think they have power to become visible if they want to. But if they don't want, so we cannot see them.
So, but what about either fifth element? So either can be visible by special materialistic, how to say, machine or something can be visible either, or
I think there is, you can register some kind of aura. There is this Kirlian photography, it's called. Actually, Russian scientists developed some. Yes, etheric body, astral body is very difficult to see, basically impossible. But yes, there is this special machine which can show you, can translate this etheric energy into some colors. Then you can see it. You can print it. You can just register it somehow. But just like some what shall I say? You can feel the energy of another person. Some people you like very much want to come closer because it's a good energy. It's compatible with your energy. Some people may have bad energy. We can feel it, but we have no idea. This is what we are feeling. These are like energy, etheric energy, whatever. So, some people I just want to get rid from, get away from them. So, but we
so
can
that's
still feel
that's
it.
that's either fifth element or something different energy could be.
I think it's got some kind of, just like water is all kinds of liquids. Oil is the water as well in the category of water, oil, or but it's different. So ether has probably lots of categories as well. We just don't know.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare
You're
Krishna.
welcome. Very good.
Okay, if there is, thank you. First of all,
Thank you.
Nandaprya
Thank
Prabhu for
you.
giving very nice, wonderful lecture. And if there is no other questions, we
I
can
think we should stop now. Yeah.
we can stop.
Thank
now.
you so much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
everyone. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Oh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.